Om Stapakaya ca dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine Stapakaya ca dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine Avatara varishtaya Ramakrishnaya te namaha Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorama Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us offer our salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme Incarnate, who came to establish universal religion. Let us offer our salutations to him and pray to him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. We have been studying Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Today's topic is the continuation of the title I spoke last Tuesday. It's a very important subject, very useful for all of us, and that is 5 commandments of Sri Ramakrishna. Most important and most essential, particularly those who are aspiring to realize the truth in this life itself. The first 5 commandments which Sri Ramakrishna has given us in the Gospel is 1. Repeat God's name and sing His glories. Secondly, keep holy company and now and then visit God's devotees and holy men. The mind cannot dwell on God if it is immersed day and night in worldliness, in worldly duties and responsibilities. Third, it is most necessary to go into solitude now and then and think of God. To fix the mind on God is very difficult in the beginning, unless one practices meditation in solitude. When a tree is young, it should be fenced all around, otherwise it may be destroyed by cattle. To meditate, you should withdraw within yourself or retire to a secluded corner or to the forest. Fourthly, you should always discriminate between the real and the unreal. God alone is real, the eternal substance. All else is unreal, that is impermanent. By discriminating this, one should shake off impermanent objects from the mind. Lastly, the 5th one, do all your duties, but keep your mind on God. Live with all, wife and children, father and mother, and serve them. Treat them as if they were very dear to you, but know in your heart of hearts they do not belong to you. So, repeating God's name and singing His glories, that idea we have dealt with in the last class. So today I am taking up the 2nd commandment of the 5 which Sri Ramakrishna has given us. That is, keep holy company and now and then visit God's devotees and holy men. The mind cannot dwell on God if it is immersed in day and night in worldliness, in worldly duties and responsibilities. The companionship of the holy and the wise is one of the main elements of spiritual progress. This is the 2nd most important commandment of Sri Ramakrishna. So that means there is tremendous significance in satsang. The word satsang is a combination of 2 words, sat and sang. Sat means existence absolute, which is Brahman. Sat is the essential nature of Brahman, which is permanent in things that change, which is the only reality that upholds the world of appearance. The same Sat with the accidental attributes of omnipresence, omniscience and omnipotence is called Ishvara or Paramatman. In brief, Sat refers to Ishvara as well as Brahman, both ultimately being the one and the same reality. So that is the meaning of Sat. Sat means both personal Brahman, personal God, as well as impersonal God. Both are referred to as Sat. There is another word, Sangha, Satsang. Sangha literally means company or union. To be always in the company of the Lord or to be established in Brahman is the literal meaning of the word Satsang. But as long as ignorance or avidya remains, the direct realization of Brahman is impossible. When ignorance is destroyed by wisdom, the real nature reveals itself. This is the highest Satsang. The next possibility is to please God so much by our unflinching devotion that He has to sport with us, assuming a gentle form according to our desire, even as He did in the case of the gopis. But the means to the realization of this blessed end is also called satsang, or the company of the wise. The means being essentially not different from the end, is also named after the end. Because the company of the wise leads to the realization of Brahman, with attributes or without attributes, it is also termed as satsang. In this sense, satsang means the company of the Satpurushas. Satpurushas are those who have realized truth as well as those who are aspirants after truth. Those people who have renounced egoism, greed, lust, etc. are Satpurushas. Those people who have attained equal vision, balanced mind, unflinching devotion to the Lord are Satpurushas. Those people who are endowed with peace, bliss, contentment, simplicity, fearlessness, humility, powerful voice, a face beaming with the glow of saintliness, etc. They are all called as Satpurushas. There is a verse composed by Shankaracharya in his famous stotram Bhajagovindam. There he says, Satsangatve nissangatvo, nissangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nischalatatvo, nischalatatve jivan muktihi. There Shankaracharya says, Satsange nissangatve, nissangatva. By keeping the company of the great Mahatmas, one becomes dispassionate. He gets vairagya. He does not like the company of the worldly people. Then he develops the state of nirmohatva. He becomes free from infatuation or delusion. Then his mind becomes steady and one-pointed and rests on the swarupa or essence. Then he attains liberation or freedom. Kastarati mayam yassangam tyajati yo mahanubhavam sevate nirmamo bhavati. Who overcomes this maya? Only he who abandons evil company, who associates with large-hearted persons, and who is free from mindness. Mahatsangastu durlabhogam yo moghascha. Companionship of the great ones is again difficult for attainment. It is hardly possible to assign how and when men may be taken into the society of the great. But once obtained, association with the great ones is infallible in its operation. Labhyatepi tat kripayaiva. Companionship of the great ones is gained by the grace of God alone. These are taken from the Bhakti Sutras of Narad Maharshi. Binu satsanga vivekana hoi, Ramakripa binu sulabana soi. Ramcharitmanas Tulsidas says, the intuition of wisdom or the power of discrimination does not come without having satsang, which is enjoyable or attainable only by those whom Lord Rama chooses or upon whom He bestows His grace. Satsangata muda mangala mula sata sudarahi satsangati payi. Even the worst rogues are changed into virtuous men only through the association or sang of the seers and sages, as satsang is itself an ever beneficial joy giver. Learn wisdom from the saints. They are your saviors. Follow their advice. They will help you, guide you and lead you to your destined goal. Turn homeward. Enough of your wanderings in the desert of samsara. Samsara means worldly type of activities, worldly involvements. There are a few oases in this desert, and they are the saints. Drink deep from them and march to the source, your original home. Satsang is your lifeboat. Discrimination is your compass. Dispassion is your anchor. O captain of the soul, steer your ship fearlessly in this ocean of samsara and cross to the other shore of immortal life. So much benefits are there in satsang. That's why all the Mahatmas all over the world have emphasized about maintaining satsang. One of the most important practice in this respect is to come to temple as many days as possible. That way you are maintaining satsang. It is very essential to be always aware of the value of satsang. Man wants friends and companions to share his feelings, thoughts, joys and sorrows. Man is a gregarious animal. Even saints and people advanced in spiritual life desire the association of similar-minded people. Sri Ramakrishna prayed for a pure soul as his companion. As a result, he obtained Swami Brahmananda. For spiritual aspirants, holy association is indispensable. Sri Ramakrishna compares holy men to physicians and says that unless aspirants keep holy company constantly, their worldliness, which has become chronic, cannot be cured. The wicked get transformed into good people or even become saints by the potent influence of holy company. Saint Tulsidas in his Ramcharitmanas bestows high praise on the benefits of holy company. He says, the association of holy men can turn a crow into a cuckoo and a heron into a swan. As iron is transformed into gold by the touch of the philosopher's stone, so is the transformation that takes place by contact with the saint. He goes so far as to say, if the joys of heaven and salvation could be weighed together in a balance, they would not equal the happiness that results from a moment of satsang. So, the happiness that you get from satsang is unparalleled. Once in the course of conversation with devotees, Sri Ramakrishna observed, I visited the museum once. I was shown the fossils. The whole animal has become stone. Just see what an effect has been produced by company. Likewise, by constantly living in the company of a holy man, one really becomes holy. There is a Sanskrit verse which says, even a moment's association with the holy becomes a boat which takes one across the sea of transmigration. This is not a mere panegyric. Innumerable instances can be cited of the transformation of sinners into saints by mere association. The devotees of Sri Ramakrishna may recall how a thief became a saint by coming in contact with Pawari Baba. Kalipada Ghosh turned over a new leaf by the blessings of Sri Ramakrishna. Amzad, the robber, became a good man by the grace of Holy Mother Sri Sharda Devi. Who knows how many such incidents remain unknown to us. Sri Ramakrishna also used to say, if the aspirant thirsting after self-improvement mixes indiscriminately with all sorts of worldly people, not only does he lose his ideal, but also his former faith, love and zeal. They die away imperceptibly. The society of pious men is like the water in which rice is washed. The rice water has the potency of dissipating alcoholic intoxication. The society of the pious relieves worldly men, drunk with the wine of vain desires, of their intoxication. That's why Sri Ramakrishna recommends the cultivation of holy company so strongly. The Sanskrit word for holy company is satsang. The word sang means company and sat means good, truth and God. To seek the company of the holy means to become good, to observe truthfulness and to thirst after truth and God. Invariably one who keeps good company first becomes good, pure, unselfish and kind. Then he becomes sincere and truthful. After that, he becomes a seeker of truth and God. He practices japa, prayer, meditation, etc. He experiences constantly the presence of God. In the end, he obtains the grace of God and realizes him as a self of his self. The effect of satsang is incalculable. We live in the midst of an adverse environment, saturated with materialism and atheism. Added to that, we also bring our own past impressions, which constantly are trying to pull us down. There will also be times when we feel depressed, frustrated, and likely to lose our enthusiasm. Then there are the inevitable events of life, accidents, death, pain, and suffering. Under these circumstances, the difficulty of keeping our faith in God and higher ideals is easily imagined. In these trying times, the company of the holy and pious can help us a great deal. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, bondage and liberation are of the mind alone. The mind will take the color you dye it with. It is like white clothes just returned from the laundry. If you dip them in red dye, they will be red. If you dip them in blue or green, they will be blue or green. They will take only the color you dip them in, whatever it may be. Holy company makes one holy. The need for holy company has been emphasized by all religions. Not only is holy company necessary, it is impossible to progress in spiritual life without it, says Vedanta. To emphasize this point, a story has been said. It is in the Gospel. Uma was the universal mother, incarnated as the daughter of Himavan, Parvati. She blessed her father with the vision of the several manifestations of the omnipotent mother. Himavan was highly pleased, and he asked his daughter to help him have the realization of Brahman. Then Uma said, Father, if you wish to realize Brahman, you must live in the company of holy men, men who have entirely given up the world. It is not easy to get holy company. Even confirmed non-dualist that he was, Adi Shankaracharya, has confirmed that there are three things which are hard to acquire and can be had only by God's special grace. And these three are human birth, an intense yearning for liberation, and the association of the great soul. Narad in his Bhakti Sutras makes a reference to the companionship of the holy and points out that this companionship creates a rare opportunity. Its influence is subtle and difficult to comprehend. It is obtainable only by the grace of God. But once obtained, its effect is unfailing. Holy company is a wonderful uplifter, for it exercises a silent and lasting influence for good on all sincere recipients. However, it is not easy to recognize a holy man, for he does not go about advertising himself. He does not assume false glories. Rather, he likes to remain incognito, to stay in the background. Sometimes he appears very ordinary and commonplace. At other times he even behaves in a queer way to keep intruders out. It is therefore not an easy thing to recognize a great soul. It is only as a result of the cumulative effect of merit earned in many births that one comes across a holy man. But there is no need to despair. There is a law which sees to it that the earnest seeker does not come by his... there is a law which sees to it that the earnest seeker does come by his guide. As Swami Vivekananda says, when the field is ready, the seed must come. What are the benefits of holy company? It gives inspiration and guidance. Holy company makes one aware of one's faults, and one will make the necessary correction. The biography of Sri Ramakrishna narrates many incidents of how he used to correct Swami Yogananda, Swami Niranjanananda, and other disciples and devotees and put them on the right road. We can find similar incidents in the lives of every saint. The life of every saint acts like a powerful searchlight, illuminating the paths to God. In the company of holy men, one understands scriptures in the right way. For as Sri Ramakrishna used to say, scriptures contain both sand and sugar. That is, it contains both essentials and non-essentials. One needs right guidance to understand and apply them correctly. Then one is able to understand the nature of the world, life, its meaning, the goal of life, and the best way of reaching it. In the company of a holy man, one is inundated with peace and an indefinable bliss. For holy men radiate peace and bliss. Swami Chidananda used to say that one visit to Sri Ramakrishna used to inebriate him with bliss for days and days. Many people used to visit Ramana Maharshi with their minds full of doubts and questions. But once in his presence, all the doubts disappeared and all questions ceased. Holy men are free of egotism and their hearts are filled with loving compassion. Hence their company helps one reduce the ego, the root cause of all bondage. Holy company spontaneously brings the thought of God into one's mind. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu states, know him to be a holy man whose mere sight produces in the beholder a spontaneous devotion to the Lord. What can be achieved only with great difficulty and by hard practice for a long time can easily be obtained in the company of holy men. The company of the holy gives strength in times of depression and low periods. In the presence of a holy man, lust, envy, anger, etc. cannot raise their heads. Once a disciple of Swami Brahmananda wanted to test his guru. In his presence, the disciple tried to think worldly thoughts just to make a test, but he failed miserably. He could not think worldly thoughts in presence of Brahmanji. Then he realized how powerful and uplifting was the presence of these great disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. Above all, a saint by his grace can even grant the vision of God. For, as Narada states, there is no difference between God and his devotees. As Vedanta also asserts, a knower of Brahman becomes Brahman. An illumined person's will is merged in the universal will. He becomes a perfect instrument of God. Hence, whatever it does is really an act of God. We can now see why Sri Ramakrishna instructs us to cultivate holy company. But there may be a difficulty. It is rare to obtain the constant company of a holy man. And then, even if we are fortunate in coming into contact with a holy man, it may be for a short time only. What then should we do? Holy company means not only the companionship of saints, anything that inspires and propels one toward a nobler goal towards God is holy company. It could be a book, or a place, or an object. Every religion insists on the study of scriptures and pilgrimage. A devout study of scriptures and the lives and teachings of saints and sages is a wonderful way of having their holy company. These have the power of truth, and truth always uplifts and inspires everyone. The study of these holy books instantly transports us into the presence of these great souls. For example, we read the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, we can palpably feel his presence immediately. Regular study of the scriptures slowly brings about an inner transformation. The places and objects associated with holy men can also act as powerful uplifters. Visiting holy places definitely raises our minds. Clothes, rosaries or sandals and other objects associated with saints also remind us of their life and help us. This is why relics, not merely for their apparent miraculous powers, are cherished so devoutly by devotees all over the world. Even certain events can help us turn towards a higher goal. Many aspirants are advised to visit now and then crematoriums, hospitals, and lunatic asylums. Why? These visits can bring to our minds vividly the evanescence of life, check our mad rush after fleeting sense pleasures, and produce dispassion and discrimination. We also learn to count our blessings and appreciate the grace of God in having a healthy body and mind. We are reminded of the precariousness of time. We are reminded of the preciousness, not precariousness, preciousness of time and opportunity given to us. But the best holy company is the practice of the presence of God in our hearts. Constant prayer, japa, and remembrance unveils the Lord, who is present at all times and at all places. To feel the presence of God, this is the true meaning of satsang. All the other means discussed earlier are only helps towards reaching this goal. Until we achieve this, we are advised to take recourse to all the other means mentioned earlier. Thus we can see how the cultivation of holy company confers so many blessings and is so very necessary in spiritual life. We can ignore it only at our peril. So, association with right type of people who are really practicing spirituality is very important to maintain a spiritual fervor and to march onwards in spiritual journey zealously. Holy company is very essential. So this is the second commandment of the 5 commandments which Sri Ramakrishna has given to us in the Gospel. Page 857. Sri Ramakrishna was talking to the devotees. He said, "You may ask, is there any difference between the realization of 2 jnanis, one a householder and the other a monk?" The reply is that the 2 belong to one class. Both of them are jnanis. They have the same experience. But a householder jnani has reason to fear. He cannot altogether get rid of his fear as long as he is to live in the midst of dust and gold. If you constantly live in a room full of soot, you are sure to soil your body, be it ever so little, no matter how clever you may be. After extracting the butter, if you keep it in a new pot, then there is no chance of its getting spoiled. But if you keep the butter in a pot where curd has been kept, well, then it is doubtful whether it will keep its flavor. Laughter. When they parch rice, a few grains jump out of the frying pan to the ground. These are white like mallika flowers, without the slightest stain on them. But the grains that remain in the pan are also good, though not as immaculate as a fresh mallika flower. They are a little stained. In the same way, if a monk who has announced the world attains divine wisdom, he is as spotless as a white flower. But one who stays in the frying pan of the world, after attaining knowledge, may get a little blemish. Once a Bhairavi came to King Janaka. At the sight of the woman, the king bent his head and cast his eyes to the ground. At this, the Bhairavi said, "O Janak, even now you are afraid of a woman? Even now? Through perfect knowledge, a man becomes like a child 5 years old. He does not know the distinction between a man and a woman. Although a jnani living in the world may have a little blemish, yet this does not injure him. The moon undoubtedly has dark spots, but these do not obstruct its light." After realizing God, some souls perform work in order to teach men. Janak, Narad, and others like them belong to this group, but one must possess power in order to be able to teach others. The sages of old were busy attaining knowledge for themselves, but teachers like Narad went about doing good to others. They were real heroes. A worthless stick floating on the water sinks under the weight of a bird, but a heavy and substantial log floating on the water can support a cow, a man, or even an elephant. A steamboat not only crosses the water itself, but carries many human beings with it. Teachers like Narad may be compared to the heavy log of wood or the steamboat. One man, after eating a tasty morsel, removes every trace of it by wiping his face carefully with a towel, lest anyone should know. Another, again, having got a mango, not only enjoys it himself, but shares it with others. Even after having attained perfect knowledge, teachers like Narad retained love of God in their minds for the welfare of others. Let us stop here. So, what is needed is practice, practice, practice. The more you practice, the more you come near to God. The more you practice, the more you become able to get rid of worldliness. Worldliness must go from the mind. It should be at the minimum level. Why? To carry on your minimum requirements. But the mind should be always kept on the spiritual ideal. And these commandments of Sri Ramakrishna, please remember them. Every now and then you go through, read every day these commandments and introspect how far you are practicing them. So that gives you an awakening. You must wake up clearly. Wake up from all respects. Then you'll be able to realize God. You'll be able to have the vision of God in this life itself. That means before you cast off this mortal body, you will be enjoying peace and bliss. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quenched that mighty forest fire, worldly lust raging furiously within. O name streamed down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself. O self, drowned deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing in His name that bought our very selves. Various are thy names, O Lord, in each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass, be patient and forbearing like a tree, take no honor to thyself, give honor to all, chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy consider him as dust beneath thy feet. Ah, how I long for the day when an instant separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, and my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrated at thy feet let me be in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou who stillest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere, may all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous reign tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bonds, may the free make others free. May good betide all people, may the sovereign righteously rule the earth, may all beings ever attain what is good, may the worlds be prosperous and happy, may the clouds pour rain in time, may the earth be blessed with crops, may all countries be freed from calamity, may holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.